And Bonds hits one high. It's a deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Stacks on Stacks, lads. Joined, as always, with my guy, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson.
Yes, sir.
Live and direct, Sunday night, brought to you by the Sharps app, SHARPZ. Make sure to download it. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to use, free to track your bets. Become a better Sharps app. With that being said, Ben, how we doing on this Sunday night? Welcome back.
Good, man. Yeah, it was a long fucking weekend, but we're here. We're ready to talk some sports. It was a fucking great baseball weekend.
It was a wild weekend as far as news and everything. And then playoff races have begun heating up.
Deals on deals.
Yep, and some more deals. We might even get some more while we're on this show. To be honest, the way things have been going, it all started last Sunday when the news broke or was that Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday night.
Thursday.
Thursday with Randy Rosarena. So. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens tonight and going forward. But yeah, man, it's a good segue to start the show off. Obviously, with some of the trade acquisitions. Obviously, the deadline's on Tuesday, so when we do Tuesday's show, we'll kind of be wrapping up the trade deadline and everything that's happened. But for those of you under a rock, Randy Rosarena obviously started off traded to the Mariners. And then we saw just a plethora of moves since, a handful in the last 2 days, literally the last fucking 14 hours or so. What's some moves that have happened though that you've seen that you think are going to, help a ball club make a postseason run and furthermore make a deep postseason run?
I mean, I think the biggest one that we've talked about was definitely, Seattle's moves. Getting a Rosarena, I think, is a really big addition because it takes a little bit of the pressure off of someone who's fucking hurt right now in Julio Rodriguez. It takes a little bit of pressure off of Ty France, or I guess France is gone now, right?
Yeah, Ty France was put on waivers.
Yeah. So Cal Raleigh, I think it takes a little bit of pressure off of them. I do think they still need to go out and get an additional bat there. But adding a Randy Rosarena, I mean, he came in and made a clutch hit in their win yesterday. I believe it was for their first kind of insertion into the lineup. I think Jazz Chisholm to the Yankees is a huge addition there. Adding another bat, that's probably one of the most dominant
for who
offensive.
Who was it that you said?
Jazz Chisholm.
Dominant offensive. I'm sorry. Continue.
Outfield. One of the most dominant offensive outfields in baseball.
No
having
fucking
Soto,
way.
Judge, and Chisholm out there.
With all three. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying Jazz Chisholm is one of the most dominant offensive outfielders.
No. Putting the three together makes that the best offensive outfield trio probably in the league.
Where's Verdugo
just having the two of them were probably
you think
the most dominant offensive outfield in the league.
You think that trio all together is better than the healthy Padres?
Yeah.
Because
I think
all
so.
three of those guys are consistent, though.
What's that?
All three of those guys are very consistent. Yeah,
absolutely.
Soto and Judge are, but Jazz is like, honestly, he hasn't been great.
Well, yeah, but I think that's also a product of being on a shit team. And I think that's a big move of getting him into a team where he doesn't have to be the number one star, and he isn't the number one star in New York. Having him be a supporting or role player while still being really good will up his numbers and will up his kind of situational hitting, which is going to be a big increase for Jazz. He's not batting. I don't even know where he was batting in the lineup, but he's not.
He was leadoff
in Miami.
Yeah,
so
he's fifth in New York.
Yeah, so even just that change, I think, is going to be substantial to Jazz and his play. So I think that's a good pickup there. I think Isaac Paredes to the Cubs. I mean, I think Paredes is just an all-around great player. That is going to make any team better. I don't know if that's going to get the Cubs over the hump, but I think that's a good addition for the Cubs. I think the Cubs have more problems that they need to deal with, but I think that's a good add.
I think it's an absolutely head-scratching decision, to be honest, because
why the Cubs aren't sellers?
Well, not even that, but I mean, like, trading Christopher Morel, like, Jed Hoyer comes out on Monday and he's like, we're looking at 2025 and beyond, and like, Christopher Morel's under club control for 2 more years longer than Isaac Paredes, and I know that Isaac Paredes, he's better right now, but Christopher Morel's like profile, like if you look at his Baseball Savant page, like his advanced metrics like suggest he should be hitting a lot better than he is. He has one of the hardest hit rates in baseball, one of the fastest bat swings. So like the talent is there. Isaac Paredes on the other side, he's in the 10th percentile of hard hit rate. He's in like the 15th percentile of swing speed. So like the way he's producing is like super rare. Like, meaning that we don't know how sustainable it is long term. Whereas like Christopher Morel, yeah, he hasn't reached his potential, but he's hella young, and like he does profile as like a middle of the order type bat when he figures things out. So like to me, it's like, well, if you're looking at 2025 and beyond, like why the fuck would you make that trade? Like that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. So I mean, they didn't get, like, they gave up, it was basically Christopher Morel for Paredes swap. Like, the prospects they gave up, they were probably going to lose in a Rule 5 draft, or they weren't going to make the 40-man roster, so it's whatever in that sense. But flipping those two, to me, for the Cubs just doesn't make any sense. And I actually think the Rays have done a phenomenal job at the trade deadline.
Yeah. I mean, they have gutted that team, though.
Yeah, but they've gotten, what's their biggest, you got to keep in mind, like they lost Wander Franco on like someone that they were planning on being, the cornerstone in their shortstop and really the middle bat of that lineup. They lose him, to, crazy situation, which, like rightfully so, he should be gone. But, you don't prepare for that as an organization when like a 20-year-old fucking, is gone. You know what I mean? So I do think that with him being out, like they kind of had to take a step back and be like, okay, in a year or two, we're probably going to lose both Randy Arozarena and Isaac Paredes. And last year, remember, we traded Nick Manzardo for Aaron Savali, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they trade Aaron Savali and they get some pitching prospects back, and then you move Randy Arozarena and you move Isaac Paredes, and you now have and then you even move Jason Adam for some good prospects too. But more importantly, they traded Isaac Paredes and Randy Arozarena for some good bats, dude. Like Christopher Morel is going to be a future, middle of the order type bat, and I think they've done I think they did a wonderful job so far at the trade deadline.
I think you're right there. I think they're taking one step back and now to take two steps forward. Maybe not this next upcoming year, because you're getting a lot of young guys, a lot of prospects that are going to take a little bit of time to mature.
Keep in mind too, Ben, that you're getting Jeffrey Springs back next year. You're getting Rasmussen back. You're getting McClanahan back, and it's going to take them like a year to like really get back to themselves, right? So I think they're planning for 2026 and beyond.
Yeah, agree. I definitely agree. And that's where I'm thinking that's the taking one step back now it pushes their kind of their hopes a season away, but it gives them more time in the long run to be a top level team.
Yep.
So yeah, I do think they're doing really well. And they really have gotten a lot of, I mean, fuck, they got Lesko and JD Gonzalez from the Padres, which I think is a great addition there. And the Padres fucking farm system gets even more depleted.
But if you're the Padres, dude, like it makes total sense because like you have a team, you literally have a lineup that can fucking contend right now. Like,
and they have to.
Yeah. So you have to do everything in your power, and like I think getting Jason Adam is an incredible addition to that bullpen, because now you have Jason Adam, you have Jose Estrada, and you have Robert Suarez. Like you have three lockdown rotation. Back into your bullpen guys, and your rotation's kind of banged up, right? Like we don't know when Darvish is coming back. We don't know when Musgrove's coming back. So how do you shorten a game? You go out and you get bullpen pieces because you have an offense that can get you runs, right? So you just need your starter to go 5 innings. We'll take care of the rest. Because remember, Ben, too, these moves that especially AJ Preller in San Diego that he's making right now, he's thinking playoff series, right? He's not thinking, a Thursday in August when, we got to throw fucking Adam Mazur out there, right? He's not thinking about that. He's thinking about a playoff series. And he's like, I got Michael King and I got Dylan Cease. Arguably the two best starters, 1 and 2 in the National League right now. You could definitely make an argument for it. I don't know who else you would put over them in the National League, given the Phillies are hurt right now. But then you have your third starter who is probably going to be Musgrove or Darvish when they come back, right? Mm-hmm. Or you have even Waldron. Those guys, especially that third starter with that offense, you shrink the game with a better bullpen. Because remember, in playoff series, you only play 1-2, day off, 1-2, day off. So your best bullpen guys pitch every fucking game. You know what I mean? You're not resting bullpen guys in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think the Jason Adam addition is great for San Diego. I thought it was a great fucking move by AJ Preller. And it also told me that he doesn't think necessarily that he could probably land front end starter. And I think the whole thing with Garrett Crochet coming out and saying that he wants an extension, I think that kind of killed his value. And absolutely. And then today he goes out and he looks like shit.
Yeah.
And teams are already concerned about his career innings. So I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the White Sox end up holding on to Garrett Crochet at this point and kind of reevaluate next year.
Yeah. Any bad trades?
Well, the Cubs, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily consider it a bad trade, just more of a head-scratching trade, I guess. Mm-hmm. The Baltimore Orioles are really concerning because, a report came out on Friday from the Baltimore Banner that there's been some, like, clubhouse friction between the young guys and the old guys. Mm-hmm. And then shortly after, Austin Hayes gets traded, and the day before we were kind of hearing there was a lot of rumors that Ryan Mountcastle was being shopped around, and then Austin Hayes gets traded. So it kind of makes you think about, okay, maybe there really is a locker room problem here, and like the way they've been playing is like fucking absolute shit. Someone tweeted out today that Kobe Mayo expected to join the Orioles roster as soon as tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't watch the game yesterday on Saturday, Ramon Urias made just one of the worst fucking errors I've ever seen. And it basically cost the Orioles the game because it was 2 unearned runs when it was 0-0, and just kind of fucking spiraled out of control after that. So, that wouldn't surprise me. But, the Orioles' big addition so far is Zach Eflin and Sir Anthony Dominguez. And this is a team that has rotation issues. And, like, I'm not going to jump on their offensive performance lately because at the end of the day, like, this is still one of the best offensive teams in baseball. They're kind of all going through a slump at the same fucking time, which is unfortunate, but it happens. It's baseball. Yeah. So I expect their offense, they got too many good players to bounce back. And then when you add in like Connor Norby and OJ Mayo, Kobe Mayo, I mean, you're talking top prospects that are projected to be everyday type players. So it makes a lot of sense to me. But I mean, I think the Orioles, like, I definitely think they got to make another rotation move, Ben. Like, can't go into a playoff. I'm talking about the playoffs, and like the Orioles don't have a great back end of the bullpen. Craig Kimbrell's blown 2 fucking saves in a row, and he's been fucking atrocious in the last like month and a half. So you don't have that luxury of having a deep back end of a bullpen to the point where like you can't go into a playoff series with fucking Corbin Burns, Grayson Rodriguez, and Zach Eflin, dude. Like, Zach Eflin can't be your third fucking starter in a playoff series. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Like, you need a top end of the rotation type kind of guy. And I honestly, I don't think that guy's available in this market because I think, like I said, Scooball's not getting traded, dude. The Tigers, I think they put him out there to kind of get feelers.
We knew Scooball wasn't getting traded.
Right.
I mean, maybe you didn't know that, but we knew that Scooball wasn't getting traded.
Well, I think that there was a possibility if a team blows you away with a package, I don't think anyone's safe, to be honest, unless they're like fucking, Aaron Judge or something. But, if a team offers you like 3 or 4 top prospects for a starting pitcher, I mean, I think you always have to fucking entertain that, especially with a farm system like the Orioles. But I don't think the Orioles want to do that. And thus I don't think Scooball is really available. And then with the Crochet news, that takes Crochet off. So your best starter left is Jack Flaherty, who pitched for Baltimore last year. They acquired him at the trade deadline from St. Louis, and he was not good.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there's like bad blood there or if there's something there, but he's their best starter available at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the Orioles are going to do, but they need a reliever and they need a starter. Bad.
Yep.
And honestly, Ben, I think the perfect move would be to trade Ryan Mountcastle to the fucking Mariners for Brian Wu. That's a win-win for both teams. Or Bryce Miller. One or the other. Bryce Miller, Brian Wu for Ryan Mountcastle.
I don't think Baltimore does that. I think Mountcastle is too big of a.
They need a starter though, dude.
I understand that, but I think Mountcastle is too big of a piece in their mind.
But they have 2 first basemen though.
Yeah.
They have Ryan O'Hearn, who's better and cheaper than Ryan Mountcastle, and then they have Kobe Mayo.
Yeah.
So if you can, and that's what I'm saying, that's a win-win type move for both of those clubs, because the Mariners have like 4 legitimate starters, right? Regardless of trading Brian Wu or Bryce Miller. They don't need either of those guys in a playoff series because you have Castillo, Gilbert, and Kirby. Those are your playoff starters right there.
Yeah.
So why not trade an area that you have a lot of depth in for an area where you don't even have a first baseman right now, dude. You're throwing Tyler Locklear out there because you waived Ty France. The Orioles offered him Colton Cowser and Norby. Reportedly, they offered him Cowser and Norby for fucking Logan Gilbert or George Kirby in the offseason, and the Mariners said no. Cowser's their best hitter today.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Do you think with Woo's injuries that he maybe isn't the top choice for a lot of teams?
Well, first of all, I don't think Seattle's out there shopping Brian Woo.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it's a good matchup for those two clubs because the Orioles can afford to not have Ryan Mountcastle because they need starting pitching, and the Mariners can afford not to have Brian Woo.
They have an abundance, of starting pitchers,
Yeah. So it's just like a perfect mismatch. And then, if you're the Orioles, you do have to worry about those injury concerns. However, you just traded a guy who's not going to be in the future of your ball club anyways, because it's a position that you already have depth in of young guys. Plus Samuel Basallo too. Because Samuel Basallo, him and Adley aren't going to be able to play catcher. Both there's only one catcher.
Yeah.
So Basallo or Adley is eventually going to move to first base, right? Mayo is technically a third baseman, but he's been playing first base this year. There's a reason for that because they know they can trade Mountcastle and get something.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a perfect matchup. And Brian Woo's under club control for like 3 or 4 more years. So even if he is hurt, it's not like you're paying him a fucking shit ton of money.
Yeah.
But at the high end level, that's a legit third starter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right.
That's why I should be running the Baltimore Orioles.
I don't know about that. I got an interesting one that I'm not too sure. I think this goes down as my worst trade so far. And this is Diamondbacks getting AJ Puck and giving up De Los Santos and Pintar.
Yeah.
I think that's way too much to give up for a mid-level pitcher.
Well, keep in mind though, AJ Puck does have a 2 ERA as a reliever this year. His ERA looks a lot worse than it is because of the fact they started him for the first few games. He's not a starter. So he's actually been like one of the better relievers. I mean, the guy pitched today, he had 3 strikeouts in an inning. 3 outs, 3 Ks. So, but I do get what you're saying. De Los Santos has been phenomenal. 28 home runs in AA and AAA this year.
Yep.
Guys had a ton of power.
In 87 games, too. 87.
However, though, Ben, the Diamondbacks have a plethora of infield talent. Because remember, Jordan Lawler was supposed to be their everyday shortstop this year. He's been hurt. Right? He's going to come back next year. Probably a lost year for him this year. But you're getting Jordan Lawler back next year. And Eugenio Suarez is kind of your stopgap there. So next year you have Perdomo, you have Lawler, you have Ketel Marte. So where does De Los Santos fit into this equation?
Yeah.
And you have Blaze Alexander, Jordan. And you have Blaze Alexander, Ben. Thinking of Blaze Jordan, too. But you have Blaze Alexander, too, which is another higher-end prospect of theirs. He's been hurt. So you have all these guys.
Blaze has another year, right?
Nah, Blaze will be back he'll either be back at some point this year or let me see. Blaze.
Yeah, but he's not playing in bigs, right?
He was earlier this year. He was fucking raking lefties. Oh yeah, he is down in AAA right now. But again, like that's another prospect of theirs. So I mean, they have a plethora of these prospects. So like they can afford to get rid of De Los Santos. So does it hurt? Sure.
Yeah.
Was I shocked that it was for AJ Puck? Yes.
Yeah. And I do like the Pintar piece too for Miami. I think, Pintar is someone who's fucking fast as fuck, um, and has nice power. So
Oh, I think Miami's done just like their in-state buddies,
yeah.
their neighbors. I think they've done a great job too.
Mhm.
Because remember, next year too, the Marlins are getting back Sandy Alcantara. They're getting back Jesus Luzardo. Max Meyer just came back, and then you get Braxton Garrett back too, and Yuri Perez, Ben. So I mean, you have like you easily have the best starting. Like Ben, if the Marlins weren't hurt this year, if that rotation wasn't hurt, like that's a playoff team, dude. Just because they're
Mhm.
pitching alone.
Yeah.
They made the playoffs last year off their pitching alone. Their offense was fucking atrocious, dude. But that team has such great pitching, and now you've gotten some nice
I
bats
don't know if
back.
that's a playoff team. I think that's a contending for the wild card team. I don't know if you could say that's a for sure playoff
With
team.
that rotation,
Yeah.
Ben, on paper that's the best rotation in baseball, and it's not even close. It's the only reason why they made the playoffs last year was because of their rotation. And Sandy wasn't even that great. Andy got hurt.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ifs there going too, because I mean, like, yeah, if Atlanta doesn't get so fucking hurt, if San Francisco doesn't get so fucking hurt, if Arizona doesn't get so fucking hurt,
Yeah,
like
but
there's a lot of teams that
that
are
rotation is fucking disgusting, dude.
yeah,
There's no better rotation in baseball. Braxton Garrett was just getting going, dude. Hell, fucking
yeah, but that offense is not close.
yeah. That's the point.
It'd be another Kansas City.
But Ben, that's the point. Is they didn't trade any of their starting pitching, so they're getting their entire rotation back because they're all
Yeah.
hurt. They get that's
Oh no, I know. What I'm saying is that it for this year, I don't know if that's
nah. That's a playoff team, bro. The only reason why they're not in the playoffs, Ben, is because their entire starting rotation is fucking hurt.
and they have no offense.
Well, yeah, but look who they're starting every day, dude. They're starting like Rowdy Munoz, dude. They're
Well,
starting.
yeah, but again, they would be starting those same guys if they.
They wouldn't be starting them if they had fucking Sandy and Braxton Garrett and Jesus Luzardo healthy. They wouldn't be starting those guys.
Who are they starting?
At pitching?
No, I'm talking offense.
Dude, I don't care who
Their
they're
offense
starting
is
in
gonna be
offense because
atrocious.
those starting pitchers are going to give up like less than 3 runs a game. You just got to
Well,
fucking.
then again, that's another Seattle. That's another Kansas City.
Yeah,
Like,
but I mean, you look at the Marlins offense, dude. I mean, they still have Jesus Sanchez, who's a good player. They still have fucking Josh Bell, who's actually on waivers now. They still have Brian De La Cruz. Like they have good talent. You know what I mean?
that couldn't do shit this year.
And they probably wouldn't have traded a Rise if they had a healthy rotation. So you'd still have a Rise. You know what I mean? Like a big part of why they've broken their team down is because their starting pitching is in shambles, and like those motherfuckers give up like 6 runs a game. I mean, they've been one of the worst pitching teams all year. Not only in their starters, but I mean their bullpen's been atrocious too. Outside of AJ Puck and Tanner Scott, those were the only 2 good relievers they had.
Mm-hmm.
Tanner Scott's about to get traded. And Skip Schumacher is a hell of a fucking manager, dude. Like that's a great fucking manager, bro. There's like 3 managers in baseball that I think are like, I'm just like, man, that's good. Those are great managers, dude. Skip Schumacher, Stephen Vogt, and Skip Schumacher, Stephen Vogt, and Alex Cora for the Red Sox.
Bruce Bochy.
Yeah, Bochy. But for some reason, why are they always good one year and then they suck the next year?
Yeah.
And it's not only the Giants now, dude. It's
and fucking
why
Arizona,
is it why is it like that?
Yeah.
Like, does the dude just like he's like, I won the World Series this year. We're gonna take this year off. You boys have fun. Like, how are you like? How do you win a World Series and then just be like complete ass the next year, dude? That's all of his teams.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you.
Shit's crazy. But those are the three managers I'm like, damn, like those managers, those are good fucking managers, bro.
Yeah.
Because the Guardians have no fucking business being as good as they are this year, dude. Like that shit is stupid. And last year, Skip Schumacher took the Marlins to the playoffs, and they had the best record in one-run games last year. And so obviously that luck wasn't gonna sustain itself for another year. But I mean, when you lose all the pitchers they've lost, I mean, you have no fucking hope, dude.
Yep.
At least they're not as bad as the White Sox.
Oh my God, nobody's close to as bad as the White Sox.
Yeah, that team fucking sucks. Should try betting on them one time. It's fun stuff.
Oh yeah. I was looking at tomorrow's game, but I don't really like Alec Marsh going against him either.
Alec Marsh sucks, dude. Like that's a perfect fade spot, but the Royals beat up on bad teams, dude.
Yeah, the Royals beat up on bad teams, and yeah, the Royals can't hit the fucking pitches that Alec Marsh throws, and the White Sox can't hit the pitches the Kansas City can't hit the pitches that Flexen throws, and Chicago can't hit the pitches that fucking Marsh throws. So
I just think, dude, the White Sox like have to win. That's why I bet them today, because I was like, dude, there's no way they're gonna lose 14 in a row again. Well, they lost 14 in a row again.
Yeah. They can't do 15 in a row.
They can't do 15 in a row.
There we go. They're gonna lose 15 in a row.
They should have won today if it wasn't for Paul DeJong's 3 errors in fucking the third inning. That was some fun stuff.
That's fucking Chicago White Sox baseball, though.
Well, he's not a third baseman, so they put him at third base to showcase him. So teams that needed, a third baseman or multiple guy that plays multiple infield positions could get a look at him at third base, and he did not.
Does he really want to stay in Chicago? Is that what we're looking at?
I mean,
really wants to stay there, huh?
Crochet seems to want to stay there.
I don't think Crochet wants to stay there either, but
I don't know, man.
That's gonna be the card that's fucking dealt. So
I was reading some shit, dude, that like Dylan Cease didn't want to get traded either. Like for some of these guys, it's not necessarily about winning, dude. It's about like they like living in Chicago.
I was gonna say the city that you live in, yeah.
Yeah, they like they like it in that franchise and stuff, and I don't know. Maybe that's why Crochet came out and said that, dude. Maybe he wants to stay in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, could be.
Chicago is a beautiful city in the summer.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand that.
Cold as fuck. Long, cold winters, though.
Yeah, but when the summer and the spring and the fall are like gorgeous, then you can like kind of deal with, a shitty 3 months. It's like in Vegas, dude. Like the summers are miserable, but it's only.
Well, I think
3 to 4
that's
months.
the problem, though. It jumps up to 4 months because you're in Chicago, because you get the wind off of the lakes and it
Ben,
brings the freeze.
None of those guys live in Chicago in the winter.
That's true.
Because they're down in either Arizona or LA or Miami training, and then they go to spring training.
I didn't think about that. God damn it! I didn't think about that.
My next thing I was gonna say was gonna be like, not everywhere could be like fucking California, dude.
Yeah.
Not everywhere is like.
But no one wants to sign in fucking the Bay Area, so.
Yeah, because of the taxes and the fact that it's not a hitter friendly park.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you on that.
Their numbers go down.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on the Giants? So I mean, the Giants they sweep the
huge
the
4-game
Rockies,
series,
and now they're only 3.5 games back of the wild card.
Yeah, you take 2 games. You gain 2 games this weekend on those spots, and it puts you in a really bad spot because now you're in this. Okay, do we buy or do we sell? Because at the beginning of the weekend, we were in that point where it was like, okay, we're gonna start shopping. We were listening to, items on Snell. We were listening to, I think it was Yaz, Conforto and
Flores.
who?
Wilmer Flores.
Flores, yeah. Flores actually got hurt too, and I think he's on the 10-day now. So he's not getting fucking traded. So like
that motherfucker would have got traded regardless.
Yeah.